Hello, this is Zena. We're going to be reading Tiger Eyes by Judy Blume. We're on chapter 20. Jane phones and invites me to sleep over on Saturday night. Come early, she says, so we can spend the afternoon together. Bitsy is impressed when she hears that I am going to spend the night at the Albertsons' house. You know that Bud Albertson is a division leader and a very important part of the policy making group at the lab. There are those who say that Bud has more clout than the director. That sounds like loser behavior, but okay. I didn't know, I say. I do not add that I don't care, but it is implied. And Brenda's in my Thursday night group. Bitsy's Thursday night group reads and discusses current books. This week is a biology of George O'Keeffe. That sounds familiar, but I don't have my tablet to search that up, so we don't care. I pack a small bag and walk over to Jane's house. It is my first visit to Bathtub Row. When I get there, her brother-in-law Howard is in the driveway, waxing a pair of skis. Do you not normally wax the skis when you get to your location? Or maybe do you have to just wax them every once in a while so they don't get rotted? I don't know. I never went skiing. I have never seen Howard, but Jane has described her whole family to me. Howard is tall and thin and trying to grow a beard. Jane's sister is the first person he has ever had sex with, and that was after they were married. And why is she putting her sister's business on Front Street? I know a lot about Jane's family. I know that her parents make love once a week on Saturday nights. Why is she putting her mother's business on Front Street? Hello, Howard says to me. Must be Davy. Yes. Jane's inside. I knock on the front door and Jane lets me in. Hi, she says. Come in and meet my mom. I follow Jane to the kitchen where she introduces me to her mother, Brenda, who is chubby and dimpled with a face like Jane's. She is baking cookies. Bitsy does a lot of baking too. Jason has become her apprentice. Together they bake chocolate chips, lemon ice, sugar coated, oatmeal, applesauce, pinwheel, you name it, they bake it. Applesauce sounds delicious, and I would love to try applesauce cookies. I have this fantasy that Jason will get so good at baking cookies that when we go back to Atlantic City, we'll open a cookie shop on the boardwalk, a really classy place, and we'll call it Jason Wexler, Cookie Specialist. James Bond, or something like that. I'll do all the publicity, and Mom will take care of the business side of things, so she'll do all the heavy lifting. Okay. All the big hotels will have branches of our shop, and we'll ship all over the world, just like James Saltwater Taffy shops. We'll live in a penthouse in an apartment in one of the new hotels. Hello, dear Jane, Mother says. I'm so glad to meet you. There's a fat, beautiful baby crawling around on the kitchen floor. Jane scoops him up and plants a juicy kiss on his face. And this is my nephew, Robbie. Isn't he adorable? Jane passes him to me, and he grabs a fistful of my hair and tries to chew on it. We all laugh as he babbles to us in baby talk. Robbie belongs to Howard, who is in the driveway, and to Linda, Jane's sister, whose business we know. Why do we know this? We don't need to know about their business. It builds the scene, though. It sets the scenery. She is the one who was once a finalist in the New Mexico contest. Jane's other sister, Taffy, Jane Lyndon Taffy. Hmm. I just really hope that's a nickname. Where's your father? I asked Jane as we walked into the house. In his study, Jane whispers, pointing to a closed door. He's thinking. He always thinks on Saturdays. Well, you'll meet him later. He usually comes out to dinner. Come on upstairs. My room is a mess, and I'm in the middle of cleaning out my closet. Well, based on the information we was given that didn't need to be given, I know what he's thinking about in his office. He's probably up there gooning. Wow, we didn't need to know that. But it sets the scene for this man who's more important than the director. I follow Jane up the stairs, admiring the polished wood banister, which feels cool and sleek under my hand. My mother is the president of the Women's Hiking Association, Jane says, over her shoulder. She knows the name of every wildflower in the Southwest. That is actually really cool. My mom's favorite flower does not grow in the Southwest. She likes lilies. I don't exactly know where they grow, but maybe I'll search it since it's important to my mom. My favorite flowers, I think they just grow about anywhere. I love baby's breath. And some people just call it a weed or a filler, but they're beautiful. Ooh, excuse me. Jane wasn't kidding about her room. It's a mess. Mm, when did she say that? Maybe I skipped it. It don't matter. That's why I put the link of where you can get the book. Because I'm skipping stuff. Where's the bathtub? I asked. You want to take a bath? Now? No, I say. And I start laughing too. I wanted to see it for historical reasons. Oh, that, she says. Come on. She takes my hand and leads me down the hallway and into the bathroom. Voila, she says. Here's the bathtub. The tub is old fashioned and it stands off the floor on feet and has separate faucets for hot and cold. I really, really would love to have a clawfoot bathtub. And I'll paint the toes different colors. Not like each toe a different color, but like I'll paint the toes different colors like every once a week or once a month. Or maybe like do it quarterly, because let's be real. I'll probably forget. That's probably not good for the tub, but it'll be my money I'm spending on it, so I can do what I want with it. If I want to give my bathtub a pedicure, I can give my future bathtub a pedicure. You know? We go back to Jane's room, and I flop down on her bed. She turns on the radio. An old Eagles song is playing. She begins to fold her clothes and put them away. If she's ashamed to have a dirty room, like, oh, I told you it was dirty, why would she invite someone over? But maybe she just feel really close to Davy. Davy doesn't seem like a person you can get close with though. But we don't know because this is during her grief. Maybe she usually is like a fantastic person to get along with. But I don't remember, but I think she only has one friend. And she has a boyfriend that she only met because he worked at her dad's shop. But it don't matter. Sometimes people just become friends. All right. She has three posters taped to her wall. One of McNuckle and one of Eric Hayden on skates and one of Bjorn Borg. They are all covered with lipstick kisses. Jimmy and Eric don't sound familiar, but Bjorn Borg do. I don't know. I'll figure it out later, off camera, because no tablet. It is dead and lost. Hmm, I don't know where my tablet is. Well, we'll certainly find it later. Hopefully. It's how I block my lipstick, Jane explains. And when she sees me studying them, I understand. I used to practice kissing on my pillow. But I don't tell this to Jane. Instead, I say, you hardly ever wear lipstick. Have I done something like that? Yes and no. I did not want any lipstick stains on my posters because it was like somewhere to get them. This is my only poster that survived from when I was a child. The only one. And yes, it is a Twilight poster. I got that from a science book. The science teacher was like, "Oh, we're gonna use this for one class," and I was like, "I'm gonna need that up off you, big buddy. I'm gonna need that up off you." And the teacher was like, "This is what I'm talking about. We want kids to be interested in science. We need more women in STEM." I was trying to be a woman in stimulation. I loved him. All right. Where was I at? I used to, she says. I was really into makeup in ninth grade. I'm surprised. Jane doesn't seem the type to experiment with makeup. But then I remembered that Linnea and I used to go to Woolworths and tried all the samples on the counter when we were in eighth grade. When Jane has finished putting away her clothes and the room looks reasonably neat, she takes out a Revlon nail care kit and begins to give herself a manicure. Where do you want to go to college? She asks as she files her nails. I don't know, I say. It's not as if we're seniors and have to decide right away. You should start thinking about it as junior, but it's something you have to plan for early. I don't even know if I want to go, I tell her. Really? Yes, and I think it's stupid to worry about it so far in advance. I never thought of it that way. Mm, you never know what's going to happen between now and then. I never thought of it that way, Jane says. My father wants me to go to MIT because that's where he went. And my mother's talking of Wellesley. I actually never heard of that college because that's where she went. My parents expect a lot from me. She's painting her nails a pale peach color. Linda and Taffy were big disappointments, especially to my father. Neither one of them ever did much in school, so it's all up to me. Nobody's going to tell me what to do with my life. You're braver than I am. It doesn't have anything to do with being brave. I think it does. It kind of does. When her nails are polished to perfection, she holds them up, admiring her work. Want me to do yours? She asks as she blows at her own. Blows at her own. I look at my nails. They're a mess. They're raggedy. I haven't paid any attention to them since last August, when her father died. I used to keep them clipped short, but now they are all a different lengths and ragged at the tips. Like I said, raggedy. You could use a good manicure, Jane says. A good manicure, Jane says. No offense, but I've noticed. The Pope has probably noticed, and he's in Italy. He is in Italy, right? The phone rings in the hall before Jane has finished filing the nails on my left hand. She rushes out to answer. I pick up a copy of 17 and browse through it. The models are all perfect. I wish some of them had zits or oily hair. I go to the mirror and examine my face. It is not one of my better days. I look tired and my hair is limp. When Jane comes back, her face is flushed. She says, that was Ted. Ted hangs out with Reuben, the guy who is always looking at me. I have suspected for weeks that Jane had a thing for Ted. This confirms it. He wants to come over tonight, she says excitedly, with Reuben. She pauses and looks at me. I said it will be okay. Jane sits down and reaches for my hand. I hold it out and she continues to file my nails. If it's okay with you, if it's not okay with you, I can call him back and tell him to make it another time. Sometimes Jane is so polite, it gets to me. We'll just take a walk or something, she says. No big deal. I thought it would be okay with you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said yes. I can't bring myself to say it's okay, and I don't know why. Jane has filed my pinky nail down to nothing. Look, she says, her eyes wide. Just forget it. I'll go call him and make up some excuse. No, I finally manage. It's okay. I don't mind. She looks relieved. And it's not as if you hate him, she says. Right. I don't hate him. That is the first half of chapter 20. I have things to do. Like and subscribe.